Good morning. Another Sunday. All right. Let's come into a comfortable seat at the top of our mat. Here we come. Here we are again. Long, tall spine, shoulders back and down. Big, deep breath in all the way down to the core of your tummy. And all the way out through your nose. Giving yourself a little scan from head to toe, taking note of all the little places inside of you where you might be holding on to stress or tension or pain within your body. And on your next big, deep breath in, sending all of that beautiful oxygen into the places inside of you that need it the most. Maybe engaging that ujjayi breath, a little constriction in the back of your throat, a little audibility on the exhale as we lengthen those exhales a little bit longer than the inhale. Inhale, both arms up into the air, palms facing each other, hold. Gazing up at the space in between your hands, let your shoulders drop away from your ears, big full breath in. Exhale, bring it down through center. Inhale up. Exhale through. Inhale up. Exhale through. This one's different. Inhale up. And on the exhale, bringing that right hand to the left knee, left arm behind you, open it up. Maybe finding a little bit of space on that exhale. A couple of breaths here. Twisting from the core, twisting from the shoulders. Inhale, both arms up, other side, bringing that left hand to the right knee, right arm behind you. Twist it open, looking over that right shoulder. Twisting from the core, twisting from the shoulders. And maybe finding a little bit of space on the exhale. Inhale, both arms up into the air. Exhale, bring it down through center. All right, let's come onto our hands and our knees. If you have sore knees, always a good idea to use your folded up blanket or your pillow. Just give yourself a little bit of support there. Palms flat, shoulders over wrists, hips over knees. Inhale, looking up at the sky, up at the ceiling, lifting from the chest. Exhale, tucking the chin, arching the spine like a beautiful Halloween cat. Exhale, nope. Inhale, looking up at the ceiling, lifting from the chest. Exhale, tucking the chin, arching the spine, pressing down through your shoulders, your arms, the palms of your hands. Bringing it back into neutral. And we're going to pick up that right leg and just send it out behind us. Plant those toes down into the mat behind you. And starting to shift your weight backwards as you press down into your toes, press your heel out behind you. You're going to feel a beautiful calf stretch. And shifting the weight forward, just releasing that stretch for a moment before we send it back again, shifting the hips back, just gently, gently waking up the muscles in your calf. Moving with your breath. And let's bring that right leg up into the air like a puppy dog on a fire hydrant. And just lift it up. Pay attention to the weight in your arms as you lift up your knee. Try and keep it balanced. Try and keep it even. And we're just going to draw little circles, and your circles might grow bigger. And then we're going to send that leg out behind us and give it a little pulse. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And bringing it all back down into center. All right, other side, sending that left leg out behind, planting your toes into the mat or the floor behind you, pressing through your heel. Big full breath, stretching the calf out and gently shifting the weight forward, releasing the stretch and sending it back again. This really gentle pulsing kind of movement. And you might hear a little crack in your ankle, and that's okay as long as it doesn't hurt or cause any pain or tingling or any funny business. Send it back and forward as you shift your hips forward and back. And coming back into neutral. And we're gonna pick up that left leg like a puppy dog on a fire hydrant. Pay attention to your hands and the weight in your hands. Try and keep it even. And we'll start drawing our little circles. And sending that leg out behind us with the knee bent at a 90-degree angle. Little pulse. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And bringing it all back into center. Now, tucking the toes behind you, lifting your knees up off the mat and just opening those knees up to mat width apart. Wide-legged child's pose. Knees spread out wide, toes together behind you, sitting back on your heels. Let your hips sink down behind you as much as is possible, as much as you feel comfortable. Big breath in, exhale, settle down into it. You can really reach your arms out in front of you, palms flat, arms engaged. Let your shoulders drop down to the mat. It's a very active child's pose. Your hips are opening, your shoulders are opening. It's really beautiful. Such a restful pose, doing so much work for you. Now let's send our awareness down into those palms ahead of us as we ground down into the earth and gently pull our face, pull our body up to the front of the mat. And when you get up to your hands, you're gonna press into them, coming back up into your tabletop. And let's just do that one more time, sitting back on the heels. Big full breath on your inhale, gently pulling your face up to your hands. And when you get up to your hands, you're gonna press into them and rise up. Tucking your toes behind you, lifting those hips and sending them up and back into downward facing dog. And let's just take a moment here. Feel those hamstrings. Grounding down into your thumb and your forefinger, muscles in your neck and your head. Relax. Give your head a gentle little yes, 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 no, no, no. Loosen it up. Let those shoulder blades slide up your back. Pulling your belly button into the back of your spine engages your core and gives you more strength. Right leg comes up, up, up into the air, bending that knee, opening that hip to the side of the room. So your knee is the highest point of your body. Big full breath, swinging that leg through, replacing the right hand with your right foot. Take a moment, find your balance. Inhale to rise, bring it up tall and strong. Right knee directly over that right ankle and gently pulling that left heel down to the earth. It probably won't touch, but you're just straightening out that leg behind you. Big full breath on the exhale, really settle down into it. Can you bend more deeply into that front knee? Drop those shoulders away from your ears. Tilting your pelvis forward, like if you had a tail, you're kind of tucking your tail under your bum between your legs. Ah, that proverbial tail, you know? Think of what we could do if we had a tail. Let's bring those cactus arms out to the side. Shoulder blades come together behind us, lifting from the chest. Take a big full breath. Let's do a flow. Inhale, rise, bring it up tall. Exhale, open it up to the right, twist. Inhale, back up to center. Exhale to the left. Left arm reaching back, right arm reaching forward. Inhale, back up to center. Exhale, both hands down on the inside of your right foot. Let's drop that left knee down onto the earth, sending your awareness down into that right foot, picking up your toes and pointing them away from your body, away from the mat. Let that right knee wing open. Let the arch of your foot come up off the earth. And breathe into that hip opening. Now you have options. Grounding down into your left hand, you can twist it out looking behind you. Or you can continue looking forward, palms flat, arm bones stacked on top of each other, shoulders on top of wrists. That might be enough. You might come down onto your forearms. And wherever you choose to be, we're just going to hang out here for about 3 more deep breaths. Now, if this were a traditional 75-minute class, we would do a lot more than 3 breaths because there's so many benefits to sitting in this pose. It's called lizard pose. And we would do it for about 10 to 15 breaths. But we don't have time for that today. So let's start to come back up. Pick up that right foot, bring it back parallel with the mat. Tucking those toes behind you, lifting your hips and stepping back into downward facing dog. All right, now both sides of your hips, your legs feel very different. Your thighs, your knees even. So just take a moment and give yourself any juicy little movements that feel good. My cat's like zooming around. I don't know what spooked her, but all right, let's bring that left leg up, up, up into the air, bending that knee, opening that hip to the side of the room. Big full breath. Your knee is the highest point of your body. Swinging it through, replacing the left hand with your left foot. Take a moment, find your balance, inhale to rise. Bring it up tall, bring it up strong. Beautiful. Bending deeply into that left knee right over the left ankle. And what we're working towards here is you want your thigh to be parallel with the floor. And if you're not there yet, that's okay. That's totally fine. It's just something to work towards. As you inhale, making space, she's really zooming. Exhale, settle down into it. Pulling that right heel down to the earth behind you. It probably won't reach the floor. It won't reach the floor, but it's just straightening out that leg behind us. Let's bring those cactus arms out to the side, lifting from the chest. Shoulder blades come together. Tucking the pelvis If you had a tail, it would be between your legs. There's a lot going on here, right? Like from our feet to our head, and you're like trying to pay attention to so many different things. Let's inhale, rise, bring it up tall. Exhale, open it up to the right, twist it out. Don't lose that bend in your front knee. Inhale, back up to center. Exhale, open up to the left. Inhale, back up to center. Exhale, both hands down on the inside of this left foot. Drop that right knee down onto the earth. Take a moment, because this pose in itself is very beautiful and beneficial for those hips, and we love hip openers. All right, sending your awareness into that left foot, pick up your toes and just point them away from your mat, away from your body, and let that left knee fall open. And the arch of your foot might rise up off the floor, and that's okay. Just let it happen. Big full breath, option to twist it out, looking behind you at that non-existent tail. Or facing forward, shoulders on top of wrists, gazing in front of you, or coming down onto your forearms. And we're gonna hang out here for 3 big, deep yoga breaths. And if you're the kind of person who is hanging out in yoga poses in front of the television, this is a good one just to hang out. Or maybe that's just me that hangs out in yoga poses while I watch TV. Let's bring it back up into center. Take your time. Gentle movements. Bring that foot back in, parallel with the mat. Tucking your toes behind you, lifting your hips. We're going to take a big step forward to the front of our mat. Inhale, halfway, long, straight spine. Exhale, down to the earth. Hanging out upside down. Just hanging out. Take a couple of breaths. You can move your hips around, bend your knees as much as you like. It's all good. Inhale, halfway, long, straight spine. Exhale, down to the earth. Inhale, rise up. Exhale, bring it down through center. All right. Let's take a big step back with the right foot. And we're going to set up for a half moon, which is a little balancing. So if you want to grab your block or your Amazon box, or if you don't have one, that's totally fine too. So what we're going to do is we're going to start to lean forward. And we're going to touch our left hand to the floor in front of our left toes. Right hand on your right hip. And we're going to start to lift that left leg. Sorry, we're going to start to lift the right leg up into the air. So right now you're supported and your hips are facing down towards the mat. They are closed. And what we're going to do is we're going to start to open the hips to the side of the room. So from the closed position, your right hip is going to open up and stack on top of the left hip. And if you keep your right hand on your right hip, this is going to help you a lot to keep your balance. Now, if you're feeling really good and you got this, you might release your right hand from your right hip and extend it up into the air, stacking your shoulders on top of each other. Now, if you're still good, you might release your left hand from the floor, which is not happening for me today, but it might be happening for you. Find your drishti, find your stillness. That's the key. For most balancing, the key is a good drishti. Let's bring it all back down into center, all the feet, all the hands back down on the earth. Inhale halfway, long straight spine. Exhale down to the earth. Inhale, rise up. Exhale, bring it down through center. Shoulders drop away from your ears. Big full breath. All right, other side. We're going to take a big step back with that left foot. Yeah, left foot. All right. Inhale, rise. Exhale. Right hand comes down to the earth right in front of your right foot. You can use your block if you like to, if that helps to bring the floor a little bit closer to your body, to your hand. And we're going to start to lift up the left leg, left hand on your left hip. Take your time. You might find more or less balance on this side. Your hips are closed, facing down towards the floor. And we're going to start to open the hips, stacking that left hip on top of the right hip and your left shoulder on top of your right shoulder. Now, if you got this and you feel good about it, you might extend your left arm up into the air, stacking on top of your right. And if you're still good, you might even pick up your right hand up off the mat. And slowly, with control, bring it all back down to the earth, all the feet, all the hands. Exhale, forward fold. Ardha Chandrasana, half moon. Let's point those toes out towards the mat with your feet about hip width apart. Keep your head, your shoulders, your torso low to the mat, and we're just going to drop the booty into a squat. And once you get down into your squat, long, tall spine, shoulders back and down. Ardha Chandrasana is a tough one, but it doesn't have to be. It has a lot of progression to it. So it's a good one to sort of like start off slow and easy and work your way up like a little bit more over time. And I think that's the key to it. And with most balancing, it's all about drishti. How are you guys feeling about your squats these days? Feel your feet pressed against the mat, pressed against the earth. Let's explore that part a little bit. Let's plant our hands down on the earth and start to lean forward. You might pick your heels up off the ground, balancing on the balls of your feet. You can press a little bit of weight into your hands. How does that feel? And then bring it back. Now, we did forwards, let's do backwards. Bring your hands behind you, lean backwards. Bring it back forward. Palms flat in front of you, leaning forward onto the balls of your feet. Let your heels come up off the mat. Big full breath. Let's bring it backwards. Drop your feet. Bring your arms behind you. Lean backwards. Beautiful. And you know what? While we're back here, point your fingers towards your heels. Step forward just a little bit so that your feet and your hands are in a rectangle, and lift those hips up into the air, reverse tabletop. Look at that, that's so cool. If you feel comfortable in the reverse tabletop, I'm just going to turn around so you can see. You can drop your head back, but be careful with that. Some people get nauseous when they drop their head back. Let's drop the booty back down onto the earth and come to sit in a cross-legged position. That was fun. I like that one. Let's bring our feet together in front of us, soul to soul. Inhale, lengthening through the spine. Exhale, forward fold. Let your shoulders drop down to the earth. Give your toes a little wiggle. Big, deep breath. When you breathe in, when you think you're done breathing in, breathe in more. When you're exhaling and you think you're done exhaling, exhale more. Remember the 3 parts to the breath: the inhale, the pause, and the exhale. Inhale, bring it all the way back up, and we can hang out here with our feet together, soul to soul, or cross your legs in a comfortable seat. Long, tall spine, shoulders back and down, and dropping the right ear to the right shoulder. Find that sweet spot. You know, I think a lot of us experience this really intense tightness in our shoulders and in our upper backs. And a lot of it is like the screens that we look at all day, like our shoulders are kind of hunched over, you know, and it's from texting and computers and driving. And it's also from this sort of like heart chakra, like protection thing that we do. Let's bring our head back up, rotate our shoulders, and drop the left ear to the left shoulder. Let that right shoulder drop down away from your ear. Move your chin around. So this like heart chakra protection thing that we do is because, like, you know, we've all experienced pain, heartbreak, betrayal. Like, these are human things that happen to us, right? And so we start to build up defenses, right? We build up defenses around our heart to protect ourselves from these things. And a physical manifestation of that is that hunched over shoulder thing. So somebody who is like leading with the heart open, is somebody who walks tall, heart forward, really like a proud chest, and somebody who is more introverted or meek or protective of themselves, of they're more hunched over and like protective of their inner, their chest, their heart, it's all energy stuff. Let's bring that head back up, roll those shoulders back and down, big full breath. Inhale, both arms up, up, up into the air. Exhale, bring it down through center. And at the end of class, we find ourselves right where we started, back at the beginning. And these are the beautiful cycles of our practice, of our day of the week, and everything in between. And you know what? Half an hour sometimes, you guys, it's just not enough. Namaste. Until next